What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Flying Brian's Garage. Today we have a little different project going for us. We're building a buddy of mine, Shaggy, a drift mower, race mower type thing. And we got a few more projects into the shop so far in the past few days, probably 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's get in here and check out and see what's going on. This is the project. There you go. Yeah, 2003 Murray Select. Right now he's working on the rear end. Going ahead and going to drop it. And I'm working on the front end. Instead of it being a bolt-on plate, we're welding it on. Welding on some attachments. And going to be putting the front end somewhere up in this area so it kind of drops everything. We've got to do wiring work. I've already came in and tacked some of the spots where the box was broken. Probably going to add some reinforcement welds on the sides. We got to do a pulley setup and all kinds of stuff. But I'm actually about to come over here and start working on an engine for it. So let's get to this 13.5 bridge. So I'm working on this engine here. I got the head on. The intake manifold, working on getting the oil dipstick tube, starter, and the linkage plate and linkages on. Got to get a carburetor cleaned up. He's working on brackets for the rear end.
Because one side was just a hair taller, and ironically it's the width of the bracket.
Yeah. Preserve my Snickers. It's been out here for 4 days. Doing a good job at it. He does good work. So it's been dropped and lowered, and we're just kind of evening it out so we can put the frames axle up in there and kind of mock it up and see where we're going to go. Now they've got the shop a little more organized for me and him to work when he comes back. I'm actually going to go ahead and continue with the engine and at least get a exhaust flange, even if I have to make one. That way we can go ahead and get it bolted up and mocked up with a pipe coming out. So when we go to set the engine on, we already have something to work with to go ahead and run the exhaust. The parts mower. What are you using off this? The hood?
Anything and everything. I heard there's something neat about this.
I think the hood will work on there.
The fenders come off. The
yeah.
Fenders unbolt.
Yeah. Typical older Murrays are like that.
Yeah,
so you can use them for something.
Yeah, but modifying it to a lower suspension wouldn't be possible.
Yeah.
See? It's all one solid piece of steel all the way up.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could. It is possible. Yeah, anything's possible. It's just how much work do you really want to put into it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But this one, honestly, I think is like 98.
Yeah, it's a little older.
It's got a manufacturing date. It says manufacturing date, serial number. It's a 96.
Yep. Most definitely. Okay.
Find out what year this is. Gina. Find out what year this is. It's a 96. Yeah, just talk about it. You might
okay, well, we're going to go ahead and get this off here and start yanking parts.
I said do not hammer.
Taking apart the starter here.
Those actually look pretty good.
For a color.
Gotta take the bezel off.
Oh man, that's such a better setup.
I know. It looks like to go to the bottom of the commentator.
Daggone Briggs and Stratton. Why you do that to me? I say clean it up a little with a
It's a
wire
little hot,
wheel.
but it's not bad. Clean it up real good.
Lube it. Yeah, it's got a little bit of a smell to it, but that could have been when we were trying. Everybody was trying to kick it over when it was seized. I think the damn thing's just seized, man. See, it's seized.
So we got our donor running. We rebuilt the starter on the Kohler, so we're going a different route. This is a 15 instead of a 13.5. Got everything we need on it, and it's already ready to go. He's bottle feeding it, and it's running pretty good.
Alright, he's gone again to source some more parts. We use the old second beast there, because it really is a beast. We used it to pull the engine off of the green tractor, which is, well, you can't see it, but it's back there in the back. Actually, I'll take y'all around there and give y'all a little sneak peek at the projects. Yes, that's a go-kart. But, yeah, got it back there. I've got the other snapper, which, yes, I acquired another snapper. Old force gump mower. I'm pulling the Tecumseh off of here, and I'm putting it in on the JCPenney, which is on another video, and I'm actually working on it now while he's working on his. But he's gone to get some square tubing to extend the front end, so it actually, his front end is right there, kind of in line with the front of his engine. There's his donor hood, and he's already got his rear end dropped in. We just got to get the transaxle in. Alright, Shaggy's back. He's got some tube that he's cutting up, and he's going to start reinforcing his front end, because we had to start over and pull what I did off, and he's going to make a better front end to come out and level up with the front of his engine. So he's working on that.
Last piece I was going to do tonight.
Alright, so what you got going on here?
See how this one kind of looks like it's a little further out? Not by much. But these are straight now. But when I go to hook this up and I slide it in the spot, and I get it just about center, it looks like it's a little angled.
Probably because of your little tab here. Watch. That little tab that's pushing you out.
Yeah. See, that ain't that far off though. Maybe that much.
What's that little tab that's pushing you out?
That's what, 1/4 inch?
Something like that.
But it's gonna be real fun. Real fun when I get to these. Now my goal here is either I could go ahead and tack it to this for the night. Did you see how I got the extra support in there?
Yeah.
And that is solid. Solid all the way around. There ain't no bend in that.
Nice. It looks good, dude.
I had to do something to clear this engine. So if I cut it at least 1/4 inch, and my welds are getting better for a guy that don't know much about welds. Shit.
Yeah, I hear you. They are getting pretty
Look at that
pretty
though.
good.
For a guy with little to no fucking talent, that's pretty damn good. At least I think it's good. You know, fucking quote me and bill me, damn.
It's not bad, dude. Not
But
bad at all.
about 1/4 inch would be right there.
Yeah, you're getting somewhere with this, man.
Gotta do something. You're making me lose my damn mind if I go anywhere else.
No, it's looking good, man. I approve. Alright, so
shit.
he's
Let me
working
get
on the
this.
front end,
Let me
and
get this, and as soon as it's mounted on there,
he's going to take off for tonight, so we'll get back at it tomorrow.
alright, well we're back with Shaggy. And I'm still on this here for a second. There we go. Back with Shaggy inside Flying Bryant's garage. So we've put an entire setup on the front end. It's not quite finished. What we've got is about 4 or 5 inches lowered in the front, welded solid. I don't intend for this to have any lift in the front, but if it does pick a wheel up, it'll be from the torque on the frame versus the pivoting suspension that you usually find on your normal lawnmower. As you can see, I've done a little L-shaped bracket for right now. I plan on reinforcing that in the future with some cross braces, triangle shaped braces, gussets if you want to call them that. I've got the wiring started to get set up on the inside, but right now I'm actually working on modifying a steering system for it, so that way I can get a bar out here to the front, which looks like it may end up having to be welded, but I do have bars laying around that I can pull from. Other than that, that's my goal for today, is to get some kind of steering done. So, back in Flying Brian's garage, you got Shaggy, right? Still building the low and slow Homer Simpson because of these donuts. So today, I've actually gotten to the point of I'm doing the front end. I am by no means a master welder or a master mechanic, but I do got a little bit of experience in both. On my front control arm that pivots from the right side to left side, I had to turn them backwards because of the clearance issue with the engine. As you can see, it's actually looking pretty good, even though my welds are not the best in the world. I'm going to get a hand real quick because I can't turn the engine. There we go. That'll work. Turn the steering wheel, please. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. And it turns. Well, apparently it turns the whole thing. But tomorrow we'll come in for a little bit and see about getting the backside to where I at least got a roller before I hook up all the electrical. We do know that this 15 horse Kohler Command engine does run, but a few little wiring issues here and there. It's probably going to need the carburetor cleaned. It's a stock carburetor that came on the engine, and we might have to do an exhaust modification of where it runs down below the deck area and go from there. The wiring right here is we've got the harness off the original mower that this came on. They were both Murray's. There was a 1998 Murray Ultra. I have the complete harness from the Murray Ultra and a good key switch. So they're similar lined up. They're the 6th position in a pyramid shape. And then it's got the one ground wire that comes off the side of the switch. I have a manual choke set up right here, and I have a manual throttle that's going to be taken off here and turned into a foot pedal with a spring load on it, so that way it catches back. There's going to be a kill switch put on this bracket that's supposed to be right there, and we're going to have to install an e-brake on one of these fender wells right here. The battery, of course, is going to need charge, but I've got stuff to do that at home with, and we'll probably turn this into some kind of this will probably be the e-brake, the ride, the blade engage. Sorry, it's a little bit tiring today. The blade engage is going to be probably turned into an emergency brake, and the ride height for the deck is probably going to be turned into the speed adjustment. On this hydrostatic, all I really got is forward and reverse, but depending on how far forward I hold that handle, I'll be able to go into higher gears, so to speak. But that's all for tonight, and I guess I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Alright guys, so I'm just going to take a quick second here and got to say a couple things. I guess this is my little commercial, but subscribe to the channel. Go down there and like it, because it don't get seen if you don't like it. Apparently YouTube has some kind of weird algorithm or whatever hell it's called, that just, if you don't like and engage in the videos, they don't get seen as much. So comment down below, like the videos, go check out Facebook, the Instagram, and I'm probably going to lose the Snapchat soon, so I wouldn't even bother with that. Other than that, yeah, go do all those things, and go check out some of the previous videos that I've filmed before. There's tons of videos on this on this channel, and you know, there's pretty good videos back then, and it'll kind of show you where I've came from and where I've gotten to. So go check out those videos and keep engaging with ones I'm making, and that's all I really got to say. So let's get back into the video.
Okay, so we're back on the lowered dirt mower. For this, we're going with something simple. We figured out a way to make our own straight shaft by combining the splines and everything, but the splines seem to be a bit cumbersome. The metal expanded and it caused us too much friction. So to lighten it up a little bit, as you can see, we used the crossbar and welded it straight to the middle. Really nice tough welds. Brian did all my welding on the center because his welds are a little bit cleaner. And then to relieve some of the stress that this would have on the drive gear, we left the straight shaft, or not the straight shaft, the pivot shaft for the additional splines. They're actually left like they are to give it some relief. But other than that, I've taken this and cleaned it up. Fresh grease right here. The case has to be fresh oil. Well, not super fresh. We're going to use old conventional oil. I cleaned off the bearings right here for the ends of the transmission. It's not going to wobble any. As you can see, we've got guards both here and on the other side. And now all that's left is I have to put the case back on. Alright, so it's the next day. Don't mind the trash. The reason this is sitting on top of this pile, because like I told y'all yesterday when I was tightening them down, try to be careful what you do, make sure everything's going in. And it was, until this happened. I cracked the entire side of the case right above the bearing. Best thing I can tell y'all is make sure these bearings are good and clean, because if anything's keeping them from going down in the holes, it'll break. And these are cast aluminum, they're not steel, so you can't exactly weld them with a welder, but maybe in the future we'll get to doing some aluminum welding. We don't know yet. Alright, so I do have another hydrostatic shaft. This one is from 1998 Murray, and it's seen a little bit of wear and tear. The gearing's not locked up in it, but it is still a hydrostatic. Of course, all the gearing's there, the brakes there for the transmission, you know, all that stuff is there. So we're going to crack this open and straight shaft it. Of course, the wheels are going to have to come off, but they will make a return appearance. These are decent wheels. I aired them up about a week and a half ago and they still hold air. So I'll get at it and let y'all know how it goes. It's similar setup, has an internal disc brake for the trans. Here's your actual, I guess you could say, caliper. And then you got your discs right here. There's your shoes right here, your pads. Basically, this focuses the tension on the stop, and the other side, when engaged, pushes, and when it pushes out, it clamps on the disc and stops the tractor, which is actually a pretty cool design. It's a similar setup right here as to the other Murray. Once again, Murray hydrostatic and Murray hydrostatics, similar concept. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and clean these back up and then mount them back in. And after we mount them back in, we're going to go ahead and tack them. I may see if I can convince him to go ahead and tack them while they're in here. That way we got kind of like a reference point, and then me kind of just clean it off with PVA and brake cleaner. Brian was kind enough to weld this up for me. I've got it to where it is a straight axle now. You know, other than needing a little cleaned up. It's free to spin right now. I've taken out the secondary gear. And as you can see, it rumbles and rolls. So we'll get this put back together and at least mocked up on the lawnmower tonight. Alright y'all, so this is not where it's actually going to sit. As you can see, I've got about 3 inches of gap right here, and I've got to close that in. The axle is not actually all the way set down where it's supposed to be. As you can see, it's still got a little bit of space between the frame, and it is hitting on the upper part of the frame. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to have to modify the back end like I did my front end. It won't be any longer, but it will be more or less where I need it to be. Everything else pretty much fits in place back where it was, but because it's actually sitting lower, it is it's actually not too shabby, but when I modify it, it will be sitting just a hair lower, so it won't look like an old school dragster. As you can see, it's kind of how it's going to line up. That's kind of how it's going to line up. You know, pretty mean, pretty lean. And we'll let you know what the name is on this build whenever we get done. But we have kind of chosen a name. It's a funny name, but it is what it is. Good old suspension is non-existent on this thing. For future project, this exhaust, even though it looks very nice, I'm going to have to modify it to where it goes down, because if I turn my wheel all the way to the right, it hits. It doesn't give me as good of a turning radius. Also, this is going to be deleted, probably converted into some sort of handbrake, but I don't want to be leaned forward on this thing if I'm trying to do something to where it could end up more catastrophic than it is. Originally this was the blade engagement, but it's nice and pretty, so I may swap it out, probably put it here on the fender, or do some kind of simple modification to where I can have a handbrake closer to the operation of it where the seat sits. But for tonight, this is kind of where I'm stopped at. I decided to go with the original hydrostatic that was in it, but other than some clearance issues, this is more or less where we're at. As far as the hood, I do have a hood that came off a 98 Murray Ultra. I'm not going with it. It looks kind of oblong, kind of reminds me of that guy who played in Reading Rainbow on Star Trek. I don't like it, not because of its comparison to him, but just because it's really bulky. I'm not looking for bulky, I'm looking for lean and mean. I do have some sheet metal that I'm probably going to fabricate into a better hood. Lights, I already know where I'm going to get them from. I'm not going to go with the stock lights, I'm going to go with some better ones. And I do have a switchboard for a type of race car that I had already, only missing a push start. But as you can see, you got your main power, accessories, so I can have a setup of lights on here, kind of like a high, medium, low type deal, and a push start. As you can see, it's come pretty much a long way. I've got my hydrostatic in there, right side up, did some body modifications, and have effectively made it look lean and mean. As you can see, I did my own custom seat reinforcements. The tires are not secured on there, but they'll be spaced out to where they're at right now. Did a lot of chopping, y'all. Did a lot of chopping. Today, mostly, I made sure this was reinforced and secured. As you can see, I've tack welded the sheet metal for the body in place. On top of that, I may end up having to go with a smaller battery, but I do have enough room in here for a regular size battery. I do have enough room for regular. If not, I'll find a place to mount it. Next time y'all see me, I'll start on the wiring harness. But I do have it on 4 wheels on the ground on its own standard chassis. It's not built to any kind of HRA. I'm sorry, not LMHRA, but the Lawnmower Racing Association. It's not built to any specifics. If it was, I would probably be disqualified just on the chassis alone. Essentially, this is basically built with a box of scraps. And I've started tinkering again. But today was mostly a drivetrain setup. For this one, we're going to go with a modified drive deck belt assembly. We're basically going to take the big pulley right here and slide it down to where the little pulley's at. We may have to modify it in, I don't know yet, because on this one, I don't know how well y'all can see down here, there's some keys in the bottom of this shaft, but not in the top. And if you can see the weld here, this is where the weld stop is. So what may end up having to happen is I may have to run the tractor supply, cut off the small, and weld on my own big size pulley. Also, I may have to look into another belt. I tried using the old belt that potentially came off this, and what ended up happening is it's just got too much slack in it for it to be a viable source. But this is my stopping point today. You know, everything's coming along. You know, next time y'all see me, I'm going to tidy up what I was working on today and start on the wiring. And then after that, I might be into making a custom sheet metal hood, but we'll go from there.
Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and cut this video now. You know, this video has gotten kind of long, so it's going to be a two-parter. Still not finished with the build yet. We are still working on it. Just as the JCPenney, it is taking about a week to week and a half, 2 weeks. You know, running into little things, need stuff, and this, that, and another. There's always something when there's going on a build and building something custom. So, hope you guys like this video. Go down there and leave me a like. Comment down below if you have any questions about this build, a previous build, your build, or just want to say something in general. Be sure to, like I said, subscribe to the channel. Be sure to hit that bell, that notification bell. Hit the all bell. That way, you know, you're notified, and it's good for YouTube algorithm. Check out the Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and now we have a TikTok. Just go look up Flying Brian's Garage and you will find us wherever. You can also go check out my buddy's YouTube. He just started Shaggy's Small Engines. Just type in Shaggy's Small Engines on YouTube and you will find him. Go subscribe to him and hit that bell and show him some love. He is very smart when it comes to engines and stuff in general, and he's really good at getting it running. So he'll teach you something if you don't know, and if you just want to watch just for the, you know, the knowledge aspect, and just to watch somebody that's like-minded as you, then I suggest you go check out his channel. He's just starting. I'm actually working on helping him right now come up with some you know, stuff for his videos, some profile pictures, some cover photos and stuff like that, so he can get started. He has 3 videos as of now, but it will be growing and we will be collaborating, so be sure to go subscribe to him as well, and you know, go like his videos and engage on his YouTube as well. You know, he needs some love, and very smart man, so go check him out. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, go leave it a like, subscribe to me, hit that all bell, and I will see you guys on part 2.